Right guys, have we got a rebuild for you this weekend? Years ago, Wimbledon was a club obviously based in London, and they have since moved to Milton Keynes and are now, as many of you will recognise, MK Dons. Now, Wimbledon, or the Dons, reformed themselves as AFC Wimbledon and now find themselves in SkyBet League One. Well, unfortunately, they were relegated this season, but today we are going to be rebuilding Wimbledon to see if we can take them back to their Premier League heritage, take them back to the FA Cup that they won in the 80s, and that is going to be our goal. It's going to be a 10-year rebuild this time around, guys, so go get yourself a coffee, cup of tea, beer, whatever you fancy, and watch along, because this is going to be a long one and you're going to need to strap yourselves in for this 10-year rebuild of Wimbledon. So let's dive into the game and take a look at the club on today's episode. So guys, this is of course AFC Wimbledon. It isn't just Wimbledon. Obviously that club is technically MK Dons, and I'm not doing a rebuild of MK Dons. So the only things I've changed is kind of visual stuff really, guys. So the old Wimbledon logo is in place. That is how we are going to be representing this year in this rebuild. If we go into the club's history, you can see their sort of resurgence after being reformed. They've sort of worked their way up the leagues. As you can see, they've been very, very successful. They got promoted into SkyBet League One in the 2015-2016 season, and then have been sort of in and around the bottom third of SkyBet League One ever since, and obviously this season have been relegated. So we're going to try and atone for that with AFC Wimbledon. We are of course in SkyBet League One, so we obviously have SkyBet League One, the Emirates FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and we are also in the Papa John's Trophy as well. So we've got some interesting stuff to be doing this season, because if we go into the SkyBet League One odds, oh, that badge looks great there, and we take a look at the season preview, we are predicted 50-1 to get the job done in season number 1. So it's going to be an interesting one, this rebuild. Obviously we're going to be going for 10 years. My ambition is to get them back into the Premier League. Now I don't know how long that's going to take, but obviously once that Premier League money starts coming in, that is where we're going to start having a good time. We're going to try and get a couple of affiliates. We're going to try and improve the facilities and stuff like that, because we've got below average youth facilities and below average training facilities in SkyBet League One. So to try and create a sustained Premier League push, that's kind of the stuff you're going to need. Obviously we've got the kits in game. They are sponsored by Football Manager, and we recently did a Watford one as well, where we've got the FM sort of like cup in pre-season, so we're going to take on Watford in that, which is going to be very, very interesting. In terms of the finances, we don't got any. We've got a 50k a week wage budget. We are currently spending £48,000 or £49,000 on the wages, and we've got an overall club balance of 1.7, almost 1.8 million pounds. So it's going to be very interesting. We've got no debt. We've got some transfer debt, so it's going to be interesting to see what we can do in this first season. As I said, we're not really predicted to do very well. I've capped the transfer budget as well. We're not making any moves in this. Cap the transfer window. We're not making any moves in this first summer window once we've gone in. And this is going to be the team. We are going to be using the GYRFM King Ghidorah, the three-headed dragon, his three-striker formation, because I love giving these tactics some promo. So please do go and check out Gareth's video on my channel where we break down this tactic. But it is a very, very good one. It's a high goal scoring tactic, so I'm hoping we can do some damage with it. Obviously, we've got Tazanev in goal, Lawrence, Hennigan, Nightingale, Lee Brown, who obviously I worked with or was at the club when I was at Bristol Rovers, Hartigan, Redondi, Woodyard, Cosgrove, Asal, and Presley. Now this guy I think is going to be our key man going into season number 1. He's consistent, which is great. He looks good for the level. He's 19 years of age, so will get better as well. 5-star potential for a 3.5-star current ability player. So I'm hoping we can do some business here. We've got Henry Lawrence here. He is in on loan from Chelsea. Not great, but can play on both sides, so could potentially help us there. Aaron Presley is in on loan from Brentford. Sam Cosgrove here is in on loan from Birmingham. Now there is a reliance on loan players as well. There's 2 on the bench if we quick pick our best team. There we go, best 11. This is, yeah, they swap around a little bit. This is our best 11 going into the season, and I'm going to try and reduce the reliance on loan players. Hopefully I like building a squad of my own team, so rather than developing other people's players. So this is a good tactic. I'm hoping we can do really well in SkyBet League One. As I said, the season preview has us finishing in 15th with odds of 50-1. Let's simulate the season, and I'll see you at the end of it. So season number 1 is done and dusted, and we've managed to win SkyBet League One with 105 points. This basically goes to show how powerful this tactic can be if you get things right. Obviously, we were predicted to finish in 15th, and we've kind of annihilated the competition here. Oxford are the team in second. We got 105 points. They got 95 points, so we won the division by quite a while. We secured that automatic spot well and away ahead of Sheffield Wednesday, 19 points ahead of them, and Sunderland, as they have done in real life, have been promoted in the playoffs. In terms of the other cup competitions, we got knocked out in the third round of the Emirates FA Cup by Leicester City. We were knocked out in the fourth round of the Carabao Cup by Liverpool, and knocked out in the southern section second round by Chelsea's under-23s in the Pizza Trophy. So all in all, pretty good season, and we go into the championship and we are going to be one of the worst teams in the championship by quite a margin. If we go into the league table though, this is how you can see everything. We just score goals. We're 109 goals scored, 50 goals against. We just pumped a lot of teams. If we go into some of the wins, we're just consistent all the way through the course of the season. A 5-0 against Wigan away from home is very, very impressive. MK Dons got relegated. Happy days. Wimbledon on the up. MK Dons on the way down. Works for me. So that is season number 1. In terms of the finances and stuff, we got a £1.1 million transfer budget and a £69,000 a week wage budget. So things are improving quite nicely. You know what I do in these sorts of rebuilds, guys, the longer ones. I just slide it all into wage budget and we try and get the free transfers and stuff like that. That is the way we go about doing things here. Obviously the squad's done really, really well. If we go on the home screen, Asal, as I said, is the top goal scorer. What's wrong with him? Wants a new deal? Don't you worry, pal. We'll set you up. He's our top goal scorer with 22 goals. Luke McCormick got 18 assists as well. Obviously, we were the best in the division in terms of goals scored and all that good stuff. So we've shown you that. Now we go into season number 2, as we're going to be a championship club. Wimbledon back in the championship. Let's get it. Right, guys, here is the transfer update going into season number 2. Now, we have had a big outgoing. He is the guy who got all of our assists last season, Luke McCormick. He is now a Brentford player. Now, they came in and wanted him. I don't know what division Brentford are in, actually. They are in the championship, but obviously they are at the top end of the championship. We will be at the bottom end of the championship. They came in, offered £2.9 million for Luke McCormick. We had to say yes, basically. Really good bit of business for us. Obviously, we got him on a free, but that wasn't me. And we sold him for £2.9 million to Brentford. So that has kind of helped fund a lot of incomings. We've brought in a lot of players. Some of them are on loan, and I know I said I didn't want to do that, but we kind of had to. So Pierre is the first guy. He comes in from Shrewsbury, another centre-back option. I felt like we were lacking in that position, so Pierre comes in. Gustav Morgensen comes in. He was released by Brentford. I think he can add another option for us up front. 5-star potential player, 3-star current ability, young Danish player. Hopefully he gets some caps. He's 6'3", so I'm hoping he can do some damage up top as that pressing forward for us on one of the sides. Tom Lowry comes in as that central midfielder to replace the one that we have just lost to Brentford. Relatively self-explanatory. I like his high work rate, and the fact that he can use both feet is very good for me. Owen O'Connell comes in, the Irish player. He's capped under 21s, but he's 26 years of age now. Another centre-back comes in. He was released by Rochdale and comes in on a free transfer. Luke Dreher comes in from Crystal Palace. This guy always gets released by Palace, and for the level that I'm going to be at is good enough for me. Another central midfielder coming in. Another guy who can pass the ball, relatively well-rounded in a lot of attributes. Luke Dreher can hopefully add something to that midfield. We've also got Jamie Lindsey as well, another guy who was being released. We picked him up again as cover. He's a bit more of a defensive-minded option. Good work rate on him as well. Good on both feet. You can kind of see a little bit of a trend here and what we kind of look for in these players, especially lower down the league. Then we go into the loans. We got him Conor Bradley from Liverpool to play right back. A little bit more what I'm kind of after in terms of some of these right backs. Now, they need to be able to pass the ball. They need to be able to cross, and that is what Conor Bradley can do. I'm kind of forfeiting some of his defensive output to try and make things a little bit better, but That's where we're at with him. We've also got Jordan Hackett, who comes in from Spurs. Another sort of fullback option. Again, doesn't really offer me what 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙕 does in that left back spot, but I think he can be a good squad utility option. Then we've got this guy, Luke Flange, is how I'm going to say this guy's name. A striker on loan. He comes in on loan from Crystal Palace. Again, I think he can add something for us there. And Louis Barry, the former Barcelona man, obviously he is at Aston Villa. He comes in on loan for season number 2 from Villa to be one of our striking options. I think we are a little bit light there, but I kind of tried to ramp up the defensive capabilities of this team. So this is the starting lineup. The back line has changed a little bit, but not massively. 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙕 still there. He's currently got a knock going into the season. 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪𝙩 and Rodondi as the central midfield. Then we've got these 3 boys up top. Now, they're very young, all 3 of them. And I'm hoping they can do a job for us. In terms of the competitions, no more Papa John's Trophy. We're not in that one. So that's just the Championship, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup. I've not actually seen these odds yet, but I assume it's going to be bad. Season preview has us 350 to 1. Now, I'm not going to lie, I thought it would be worse than that. I really thought that was going to be worse than that, but 350 to 1, we can handle that. We are predicted to finish bottom. Even Oxford, 151 better than us to finish, you know, 23rd. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how we get on. Obviously, the other cup competitions don't really matter. We just want to be staying in the Championship. In terms of other things, though, I don't have the funds or anything to make a big impact here. We got £5.7 million in the bank balance, but it is going in the right way. Let's simulate season 2 and see if we can stay in the Championship. So guys, first season in the Championship, and obviously season number 2 of 10 overall. We have AFC Wimbledon in 8th in the SkyBet Championship. We've done really, really well. We are just outside the playoff places. We are, I say just outside, we're 12 points adrift of the playoffs. The SkyBet Championship, very competitive this time around. Sheffield United and Bournemouth going up into the Premier League. Palace, Norwich, Fulham and Brentford are all the teams in the playoffs, which I believe hasn't happened yet. The playoff final hasn't happened yet. We are still at the semi-final stages, it would appear. Obviously, Brentford versus Palace and Fulham versus Norwich. In terms of our season, though, done very well. 21 victories, 8 draws, 17 losses, 92 goals scored. So we are a good goal scoring team, but we shipped 75 goals, which is where our issues are. We've got a plus 17 goal difference, but we finished the season on 71 points. Obviously, we're 30 points clear of that relegation zone where Peterborough, Preston and Millwall all go down. Not in any real danger of being too high in the table, but also nowhere near the relegation zone. So overall, a very good campaign in the SkyBet Championship. In the Emirates FA Cup, we were knocked out in the 3rd round. Now, disappointingly, we were knocked out by Bromley, obviously a National League side. So that's not great. And then we got 2nd rounded in the Carabao Cup by Cardiff. But obviously the main thing for us was to be in the league and be competitive for the whole season. Louis Barry, top goal scorer for the club on his loan spell from Aston Villa, 24 goals and 2 assists for him. The young strike force has obviously done pretty well because if you look at the team stats in the bottom left corner, 46 matches played in the Championship. We are the 3rd best in terms of goals scored in 92, but also then the 5th worst in terms of goals conceded. So you can see the pattern. We need to reinforce at the back. So that is the goal for season number 3. We've got a little bit in terms of transfer budget as well. The wage budget has increased. It's almost 120k. But again, much the same as we have done in this previous season. Let's move it all here. So that gives us 150k to play with. So, you know, 50,000-60,000 pounds a week is quite a lot in terms of additional payroll. So let's go and spend it and see what we can do in season number 3. So season number 3 is here and we've actually spent some money. Now, I'm very surprised at this because I don't usually spend money in these rebuilds, but we'll talk about them and each player individually in a second. So Connor Coventry comes in on a free transfer. He was released by West Ham United. I'm just trying to, you know, just level up the ability of the squad to make sure that the young sort of players in the team can come in and still do a job at the Championship level rather than dropping down to a SkyBet League One, SkyBet League 2 kind of caliber player. That's kind of where we're at. Now, we've signed 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙕 here. Now, this guy, I had to pay some compensation for him, but I paid the compensation. He left Sheffield Wednesday and now becomes an AFC Wimbledon player. He is already wanted by Carlisle on loan, but looking at him as a new gen, I think he's good enough to play. Let me know what you think about this guy down in the comments, because I really think this guy's good enough to play at the championship level. 2 under-21 caps for Spain already. He's only 17 years of age. I think he's got a lot of good things about him. The things I don't like his 8 bravery, I don't like his 6 concentration, but these things can be worked on. Obviously, he will mature and he will get better with age. But let me know what you think 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙗, the parrot from Aladdin, is doing, how he's getting on in-game, because I think the way that we're going to have to build this is not really Moneyball, but looking at these sort of young new gen players and building this team up and up and up. So 𝘼𝙗𝙗 has come in from Sheffield Wednesday. We paid the compensation 160k. He comes in after having 4 appearances for them in SkyBet League One last year. I think he may start for us this year, I don't know. Matty Longstaff is the next player to come in. He has been released by Newcastle United. He comes in, adds another sort of level to our midfield as well. We've obviously got 3 central midfield positions, so we need to make sure we've got a good enough quota to fill that. Harry Clark comes in, another centre-back option. We're kind of, as I said, just slowly levelling up things. It's not brilliant, but we are slowly leveling things up. Victor Luis comes in as well. I think a very well-rounded left-back for the championship level. He is an improvement on Lee Brown. Sorry, Brownie. And yeah, just looks very well rounded. 30 years of age though, so not really a long-term signing. Liam Cullen comes in from Swansea City. GRFM is going to be very happy with this one. Young Swan comes in. Obviously 170k we had to pay for him, but he played in the championship last season. Only scored 3 goals, but I imagine most of those are substitute appearances. I think we can give him a good little run in our team, and hopefully he can do quite well. Claudio Gomez comes in, the CDM from Manchester City. He's had a couple of loan spells dotting around. Most recently at Millwall, and then has obviously been at Barnsley as well. Holding a relatively decent number of appearances, so I'm intrigued to see how he gets on. He's not fantastic, but I think he's pretty well rounded. I'm kind of using him as a stopper, basically, in the central midfield to break things up and recycle it and give it to one of the more creative players. Conor Bradley comes in on loan again for the season. The fullback that we had last time around, he has basically developed and potentially can play as a winger. We're not going to play him there. We're going to play him as the right back, but good tackling, or decent enough tackling, decent enough passing, but he's got the attacking attributes here, the crossing, the dribbling, and the first touch, which we're kind of looking for, so he can get some delivery into the penalty area. Then 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙗 was being released by Bristol City, and I thought I needed another body in there, another sort of established championship goal scorer. So he comes in, 33 years of age is 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗. It might work. I don't know. It may work. It may not work. I genuinely have no idea. But Bristol City bought him for £5 million years ago. He scored 3 goals in 6 appearances for City in the Championship last season. So I thought it was worth a punt, even at 33. We've had a couple of players leave on free transfers, but 325k spent, and I think we've improved the team enough. If we quick pick without restriction our best 11, oops. There we go. This is how we're looking. Tasnev in goal, Bradley, Kalembe, Hennigan, Victor Luis comes in at left back now, Hartigan, 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙗, Lowry, Morganson, Cullen, Redondi now as a striker. Is going to be interesting. Obviously a youngster. He's got 9 finishing. Not convinced, Mr. Assistant. I'd probably either play 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗 or 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗 the parrot. But let's see how the season goes. Anyway, let's just say that we finished quite high up in the league last season, just outside the playoff places. This season 200 to 1 to win the division. We are still predicted to finish bottom. Derby County, Coventry and Reading have come back up, and the teams relegated from the Premier League are Watford, Blackburn and Birmingham City. So Murph FM will be quite happy that they had at least a season in the Prem. In terms of the other competitions, guys, relatively straightforward. We've just got the 3 that we worry about now until something miraculous potentially happens with this club. The Simulate Season 3 will be back at the end of it. So, season number 3, and Wimbledon are going back into the Premier League. We finished in 6th. We just scraped in by the looks of things on the final day of the season. I assume we've got in there on goal score, considering our points and Barnsley's points are exactly the same. The goal difference is exactly the same, but we scored almost 21 goals more than they did throughout the course of the season. We shipped 80 goals against us. That is not good, but we somehow, some way managed to get into the playoffs. Now, if we go into the schedule, we've had a couple of good runs here. That is a patchy end to the season. Losing at Stoke, losing at Middlesbrough, and beating Brentford 6-0 in the first leg of the playoff semi-final at Plough Lane. Getting the job done there. We then go to the Brentford Community Stadium and lose 2-1, and they've got Eddie and Nketiah. Iago, I told you he'd get some game time. Iago, top goal scorer for the club. I think he is with 21 goals playing up top. What a guy he is. What a new gen signing. Then we go into the Championship playoff final where we take on Queen's Park Rangers, and Connor Coventry scores in the 87th minute of the game. I'm just going to load up the goal so you can see the playoff winning goal that sent us into the Premier League. So here we go then. Nahki Wells on the ball into 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙕, finds the space into Coventry. Good run from midfield, and that is a cool, calm, collected finish from Coventry in the 87th minute to send us to Wembley, send us to the Premier League and raptures at Wembley. So 2 London-based clubs, but we go into the Premier League. Huddersfield, Cardiff, sorry, I'm a Bristol City fan, and Sunderland get relegated. We go into the Prem with Crystal Palace and Stoke, who were champions. In terms of some of the other competitions, 3rd rounded in the FA Cup by Barnsley, and then 3rd rounded in the Carabao Cup by Manchester United. In terms of some of the other stuff, obviously I've touched on, Iago is the top goal scorer for the club. Highest average rating was our goalkeeper, despite shipping that many goals. Liam Cullen proving his worth, coming in from Swansea with the 10 assists as well. We were the best in the Championship in terms of goals scored, but we were also the worst in terms of goals conceded. This defence is going to need some work, otherwise we are going to get battered in the Premier League, which is kind of what I'm expecting. In terms of the finances, though, the Premier League money has landed. We've only got £253,000 in our bank balance, but they've given me a £13 million transfer budget going into season number 4, going into the Premier League. So fingers crossed things can go pretty well, and I can spend that money wisely and somehow try and make this a Premier League worthy squad. Let's get into season number 4, and I'll be back for a transfer update right now. Season 4? Season 5? I don't know. Right then, here we go. We got into the Premier League, and this is potentially the biggest transfer window we could have had. I've had to go and make this a Premier League ready team. Now, we had no issues scoring goals last season in the Championship, but we really did have the issue keeping the ball out the back of our net. So that's kind of where I've tried to focus things on. We've been busy. So starting things off, Nathaniel Schalber comes in from Fulham. He was in on a free transfer, I believe. No, we paid £2.7 million for him, obviously transfer listed by Fulham, played a full season for them in the Championship last season. I think he can come in, and I'm kind of looking at running him as the roaming playmaker here, as is the defensive midfielder. He's got 14 passing, he's good physically, pretty good mentally as well, 29 years of age. I think he can really do a job for us there. Then the big money spend, Christian Muscuera comes in from Eibar. Now this guy I had to spend a lot of money on. 20 years of age, under 21 appearances for the Spanish youth side. Looks very, very good. Good determination, good heading. He's 6'2", nice and physical as well, so I think he will be able to handle the speed and the pace of the Premier League. We spent £12.5 million on him. Yeah, £12.5 million. They bought him £1.3 million the year before, and then that Premier League money comes in and we go wallop, let's spend it all. But we got ourselves a big centre half. Chandon Baptiste comes in as well, another central midfield body. Again, that constant levelling up of the squad. He comes in for £1 million from Brentford, who obviously stayed in the Championship last season. Youssef Chermeti, now this guy has been recommended to me by Balin in my Discord server and stuff like that. He's a member, he's a mod on the channel for the live streams. Chermeti is coming in from Sporting. Now I know this guy has good pedigree, and we paid £2.6 million for him, and I think he's going to probably start every single game that he is fit, despite only being 20 years of age. 5-star potential, 4-star current ability. This could be the guy who leads the line for the rest of the save. Moving on, we've got Calvin Ramsey. I've gone out to try and make this team better all around, so I think having our own right back is probably better than having one on loan from Liverpool. This guy is the one who comes in from Aberdeen. He's made 100 league appearances for Aberdeen, paid £6 million for his services, and moved basically this whole sort of team into what I'm hoping can be a team that survives the Premier League. Mark Travers comes in as a goalkeeping upgrade. I think he is much better than we have had previously. And then 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙕 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙕 is how I'm going to say this dude's name. He comes in, Palestinian international. I think he knows where the goal is, but the 9 first touch may cause some issues. Good teamwork, good work rate. I think he can be a nice, good sort of pressing forward up front, setting up 𝘼𝙗𝙗 for some of the goals, maybe, fingers crossed. He came in for £1.1 million and we moved things over. We've also signed this guy as well, Nathaniel Schalber, another centre-back. Kind of, you can see where the focus has been this time around, guys, can't you? Another big centre-back, 6'2". It's kind of what we're looking for. Bigger, faster, more agile players to play at the back. He came in for £8 million. And then the last guy comes in from Partizan, another midfielder, another central midfielder, box-to-box guy, former Chelsea player, but was released by Partizan and came in on a free transfer. So hopefully we can do some good work here with this team. I've also got to touch on the released players, not released players, maybe released players. I can't think what I'm trying to say here. The free transfers, maybe. Some of the guys who have left the club, basically, is what I'm trying to talk about. If we go into our tactic and quick pick, without restriction, the best 11, the goalkeeper's left. He's gone. We've also lost, what's his name? Redondi's there. We also lost, I can't think. We've lost a couple of players who basically didn't want to sign contracts. They thought that they were bigger than the club. So we kind of had to figure something out. So we've got Travers in goal, Ramsey, Muscuera, Faresi, Victor Luis, Schalber, Baptiste, Redondi, who's obviously here and has been for the whole time, Morganson, 𝘼𝙗𝙗, and Dabba. They are the team. They are the starting 11 to hopefully keep us in the Premier League. 3 competitions as per: Carabao, FA Cup, and then obviously the Prem. What are these pre-season odds? 1,000 to 1. Palace, who also got promoted, are 300 to 1, and Stoke, who got promoted as champions, are 33 to 1. So great escape if it happens, is all I'm going to say. And we are going to simulate season number 4 and pray to the FM gods that we stay in the Premier League. It's happened. We have stayed in the Premier League, 15th position for Wimbledon as we move into the Prem for our second season. Stoke relegated, West Brom relegated, Burnley relegated. Liverpool win the title, and the top 4 is rounded off by Man City, Chelsea and Manchester United. But we have survived. 10 victories is good enough to keep us up, along with 12 draws, 16 losses, 45 goals scored and 64 goals conceded. You know that's always going to be a problem if your goal difference is in the negative. But we got 42 points. The threshold to go down was 21. We got 42. We're kind of in that middle period again between Europe and getting relegated. I think Europe is being a touch ambitious. Towards the end of the season, I don't know how the run's gone, but looking at things here, that is not great. Let's have a look at the schedule towards the end of the season to see if we actually got any good results in here. We got a couple here. We got thumped 5-0 by Manchester United. That's not a surprise at Old Trafford, is it? But we got some results here. This kind of patch, I think this patch, beating Chelsea away from home is crazy. Beating West Brom, draws with Palace, Everton, United, Wolves, and then beating Leicester. This is probably a good enough run to keep us in the division, to be perfectly honest. But we are in the Premier League. We're in the Premier League with Wimbledon, and we will in the other competitions. Third rounded by Newcastle in the FA Cup, and second round defeat to Forest Green Rovers in the Carabao Cup. We don't care about the Carabao Cup, do we? On the home screen, 𝘼𝙗𝙗 is the top goal scorer for the club with 20 goals this season. Calvin Ramsey, highest average rating at right back, also the most assists in 6th. We are the 6th worst in terms of goals scored and the 6th worst in terms of goals conceded, so us finishing in 15th is pretty much bang on. So we've got some work to do going into season number 5. £42.5 million in that transfer kitty. Let's see what we can do. Second season in the Premier League coming up now. Right then, we had a lot of money to spend considering we were Wimbledon, and I've gone out and spent it as much as we possibly could. This is the first guy we've got coming in. Jan-Paul van Hecke is how I'm going to say this dude's name. 6'2", big in the air. 16 jumping reach, 16 heading, good tackling as well at 16. He comes in from Brighton and Hove Albion. £1.3 million, played 14 times in the Premier League last season for a team that I feel are better than we are, so I'm absolutely happy with this. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, now this guy was transfer listed, and as soon as I saw him transfer listed, I thought he is the perfect left back for this system. I don't know why Wolves transfer listed him, but we got him for £7.75 million. I don't know what Wolves are doing. He didn't even play for them in the Premier League last season, so I guess they're cashing in on an asset that's not doing them any good, but he will do some good for me, let me assure you. Then here come the new gens. Ian Robertson, young Scotsman, 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential from Liverpool here. 21 caps for the Scottish under-21s. We paid £14.5 million for him from Liverpool. Obviously, we are taking a chance. We are back in the new gens this time around. Really good jumping reach. He's 6'4". He's a big lad. He can either play centre-back or he can play as that defensive midfielder. Needs to work on his passing if he's going to be a roaming playmaker for us. But he's a big lad, big physical guy. I think he can be a really good positional improvement for us. If we skip forward, some of these happen a little bit earlier than later. So another new gen in, Renato Gata comes in from Sporting. Now Portugal is well renowned for producing these absolute wondrous new gens, and Renato Gata is another one of those. He's going to play up front. He's got 10 finishing, but his mentals for someone only 19 years of age are exceptional. 3.5-star current ability player, 5-star potential ability player. He's now valued at 35 to 41 million pounds. We paid 7.25 million for his services at Sporting. He's got the number 8. He's going straight up top. Fingers crossed, hey? Let's see what happens. Tommy Doyle also released from Manchester City. I think he's going to come in and be our captain, moving things forward. Super well-rounded. Looking forward to having him in the team. Again, coming in on a free transfer, now valued at 25 million as a low ball. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 has been released by Brighton. Now he went from Barcelona to Brighton, then on loan to Getafe. Now he's here. A little bit more of a dynamic option on the right hand side, but can also play on the left hand side as cover, so I see this as a good acquisition. Can play on both sides. Senegalese international. Really happy with him. Mergen Beresha, if you saw my Pentagon last season, I had this guy finally like 10 years into the future when we were in the MLS, and he was really good for me then, so I've kind of got a little bit of a nostalgia factor. He comes in, he can play up front, another pressing forward for us. Going into the tactics screen, if we quick pick without restriction the best 11, this is how we are going into season number 5, I think this is. So we've got Travers in goal, 𝘼𝙗𝙪, Muscuera, Ferrezi, 𝘼𝙗𝙪, Schalber, Baptiste, Doyle, Dabba, Shemetti, and 𝘼𝙗𝙪 are still there. 𝘼𝙗𝙪 is progressing quite nicely as well, actually. I do have to touch on him. So you just, like, for the money that we paid Sheffield Wednesday, they must be kicking themselves, because he had a good year in the Championship and then a decent enough year for a youngster in the Premier League. Despite starting all 38 games, he only scored 6 goals, but we got peppered for most of the season, so I'm not actually too fussed about it. Then we've got a lot of the other sort of like depth options here. Calvin Ramsey, Redondi, Gata is probably going to end up as a starter once he's got a little bit more familiar. Robertson is here as well. Morganson. We've got a really deep squad now in terms of the Premier League. If we go into the Prem, fight bravely against relegation is the season preview. Another 1,000 to 1 season for us to see what we can do as Karim Adeyemi lands at Liverpool, and Dusan Vlahovic is at Man City, and Victor Osimhen is at Newcastle. So there's going to be some goals this year. Obviously, we are going to try our best to avoid relegation yet again, but the Premier League money is slowly starting to seep in. £29 million in that overall balance, and we are starting to improve things. Obviously, I've touched on improve the facilities here. We're expanding the stadium. The training facilities are getting a bump as well, so we are trying to improve the below average facilities. Hopefully, that will help us in the future, moving things forward, or if you pick things up yourself, if you do want to take this save to the next level. Let's simulate the season and see how we get on. So season 5 is in the books, and we finished in 13th in the Premier League. Now it's a slight improvement in terms of things from last season. We still got that minus 19 goal difference. What was our goal difference last year? Yeah, it was minus 19. How many did we concede? 64. And this season we conceded 87, including 10 against Newcastle. That's not good. That is not good. Okay, so we finish in we finish in 13th. Unlucky for some, but we got 12 victories, 9 draws, 17 losses, 68 goals scored. We scored more than last season, but conceded a lot more as well. 8 against Leeds, 8 against Brighton as well. It's not even like we're losing to the big hitters. Minus 19 goal difference, 45 points. 27 is the threshold this season to avoid relegation. Palace, Bournemouth and Norwich go down. Brighton into that top 4 with Liverpool, Manchester United and Manchester City respectively. Who's dropped out? Chelsea, Arsenal. Okay. Spurs. Oh, Spurs down in 12th. Yikes, Amundo. So in terms of the season, we did okay. Progression is nice. We got to the semi-finals of the Emirates FA Cup. We were defeated by Brighton, but I did touch that they did finish inside that top 4. They were beating us in extra time. They went on to take on Newcastle in the final and lost. So there we go. Third rounded by Southampton in the Carabao Cup final. And we're going into another Premier League season. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, the top goal scorer again, 31 goals for him in all comps. He's really progressing and being a force to be reckoned with in the Premier League. 31 goals, 4 assists for him. So he did very well. Tommy Doyle, highest average rating and also most assists as well. 6th best in terms of goals scored in the Premier League. Isn't too bad. There was only one team that was worse than us in terms of goals conceded. So again, that is an area that we need to touch on. And make better going into season number 6. Money though, £67.8 million in the overall balance, £30 million of transfer budget. Obviously the facilities are still being worked upon. We now have adequate training facilities and youth facilities. We are trying to boost this profile of ourselves up. This is something that I'm going to try and work on as well. Our affiliated club section, there is a video that I've done where we talk about how to get the overseas marketing partners basically to increase commercial revenue. That is something I'm going to try and do with this save now we are an established Premier League club. So let's spend some money, get into season number 6, and I'll see you with that transfer update in just a second. Into season number 6 we go, and the purchasing of new gens is continuing. This is my biggest signing in my opinion so far. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 is how I'm going to say that guy's name. Norwegian fans in the comments, please do let me know what this guy's actual name is. I'm going to call him 𝘼𝙗𝙤, I think. Big new gen goalkeeper coming in from Bodo Glimt. Goalkeeping attributes already exceptional, looking very good. Mentally he's okay for someone who's 20 years of age, and physically I think he's pretty nice as well. 6'4", as I said, good balance, good jumping reach. He is listed as a wonder kid, and he is a massive upgrade on what we have had in goal previously. I like his good kicking, his good reflexes, his good one-on-ones, his aerial reach of 15. This is like literal chef's kiss of a goalkeeper. He comes in as well. Lars Christian Flem comes in as a centre-back option, another Norwegian player. 3 caps for the Norwegian international team. Good heading again, good bravery, good determination, good positioning. You kind of know what I'm looking for in these sorts of areas, guys, but we pay Mulder £3.2 million for his services. We paid $5 million for the goalkeeper. I completely forgot that. Ferdi Ayer comes in from Trabzonspor as well. This is going to be my dynamic central midfielder. He's wearing the number 7. I'm hoping he can sort of like keep us firing and keep us moving forward. Really good first touch, good passing, good tackers as well, good flair, nice vision. I'm hoping this can be a creative force in our midfield. He's been capped by Turkey 4 times. We also signed this guy, Santos Guevara. He is here. Good passing, good teamwork as well. A little bit on the younger side. I don't know how much he's actually going to play. 19 years of age, from El Salvador. 38 caps already for his international country, so we're hoping maybe he can get on the ball and do something for us. Liam Cullum's gone on loan. Conor Coventry's gone on loan. And then if we jump forward, we've lost some players on some money. So Calvin Ramsey's gone for £10 million. Naul Frerezi's gone to Mainz. Bereshah's gone to Lyon. Not the French one, the Mexican one. He's gone for £16.25 million. So we have recouped a little bit here. Caio Jorge comes in on a free transfer. He was being released by Juve, so not really a player I usually sign, but I thought he can play the pressing forward as a 3-star current ability player. So let's see what happens. Then we got this guy, FICO. Not the insurance provider, Brazilian central midfielder or potential right back. Now he's got decent enough tackling. I basically signed him. He's listed as a wonder kid, good balance, good natural fitness, 20 determination, really high work rate. I think this guy can be a future superstar for the team. So all in all, things have been progressing quite nicely. If we go on our club info, adequate training and youth facilities, we are still working on some stuff as well. The training facilities are almost done, and the youth facilities are being improved as well as the youth level. The stadium has been expanded. So if we go on that and I go on to Plough Lane, here we go. It's now 20,000 seater in Wimbledon, which is quite nice. So we move things forward. We are predicted to finish 20th again in the Premier League. So let's have a look at that. We go into the competitions, much the same. We've got the same 3 here, expected to fight bravely against relegation. 1,000 to 1, third season in a row. We are 1,000 to 1 odds in the Premier League. It's no real surprise. Our budget is ass compared to everybody else's, so we can only try our best. So let's simulate season number 6. Fingers crossed it's another year in the Premier League, because I feel like we're slowly making ground in terms of making this a much more well-rounded club, and where Wimbledon, in my opinion, probably should be. Here we go then, season number 6, Wimbledon, powered by New Gens, have finished in 6th. Guys, we are going into the Europa League next season. It feels like we've sorted that defensive issue a little bit, and you know we can score goals, so it's definitely started to work for us. We finished in 6th, 65 points. We are only 5 points out of the Champions League spots. We're miles away from winning the league, but also 65 points, 18 points was the limit. West Brom, Stoke and Burnley were awful this year. 39 points got you safe at Sheffield. Well, 19 points got you safe, which is just crazy. But we've definitely improved in terms of the Premier League. Let's expand this one out. I've got a positive goal difference, scored 86 goals and only conceded 52 this season. So we've dropped off 30 goals that we've conceded, which is very, very good from last season. 34 positive goal difference, and obviously those 65 points. In terms of the other competitions, I just saw 𝘼𝙗𝙗, top goal scorer in the Premier League. Premier League golden boot for the youngster. Good lad, 30 goals in all comps, 4 assists again. Just ticking over very, very nicely. Good recommendation, Balin. Thank you very much, sir. In terms of some of the other stuff though, third rounded in the Emirates FA Cup by Leeds United, and we got to the Carabao Cup final where we lost 3-2 to Manchester City. Rodri scoring 104th minute goal here for Manchester City. Now, I've just clocked the stats in the bottom left hand corner. I will show you it after we see this goal from Rodri. Here we go then. It starts with us. Oh no, with our goal kick, hey. Rodrigo intercepted, wallop. Oh, that's the goal that does it, hey. That's the goal that does it. But if you look at these stats, I'm gonna move this over so you guys can see it a bit better. On the bottom left of your screen now, Manchester City, 42 shots, 22 on target, 3.5 XG. No clear-cut chances though. Good amount of possession. The game goes 2-2, goes to extra time, so maybe Man City can feel a little bit aggrieved, but I'm a little bit disappointed. Getting to a final is a big step for us, but not winning it is not winning it. So if we go into the club info, actually, average use facilities, good training facilities. As I said, I'm striving for excellence off the field as well. If we go into the affiliates as well, I've got myself my first overseas affiliate, Western United in Australia. We pay an annual fee, but we get more money back out of merchandising sales, growing the name of Wimbledon in Australia, which is just a crazy sentence that I never thought I'd say at the start of this rebuild. But things do not stop there. We are also improving the youth facilities as well. So it's kind of like we're going one at a time, improving things, because the club finances are pretty darn good. £123 million in the overall balance. And we've got just under £40 million to spend going into season number 7 of this rebuild. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this rebuild, and also if there is anyone else you would like to see me do next. Let's go into the transfer update for the next season. So, new gens are new gens are new gens. We've had a couple of outgoings as well. Renato Gata has gone to Bayer Leverkusen. There is nothing I could have done to have stopped this guy leaving. After a couple of seasons with us, we bought him for 7.25 million, sold him for 37 million pounds. I forgot to update you about this last season. He went in the January, as we have had a little bit of movement in those potential places. Mark Travers has gone as well. And Jack Redondi has also gone to Verona. I don't really know why, but I feel like he's been with us for so long. I thought he was going to stay. I thought he was going to be the one guy who did stay the entire time, but he did not. We replaced 𝘼𝙗𝙤 with this guy, Chilean international, 5 goals for Chile in 8 appearances, 4-star current ability, 5-star potential. We are doing our scouting work, guys. 17 finishing, 17 first touch, 16 off the ball, 17 determination, good flair. Look at those physicals, along with the fact that he's 6'4". He's a wonder kid. As I said, 4-star potential, 4-star current ability, 5-star potential to go up top for us. We've also signed this guy, Pierre Liversedge. And so I'm going to say this guy's name. He is a Blackburn player, good passing, good techers, good vision, good teamwork as well. Really nice central midfielder. I'm going to use him. It says he's an attacking midfielder. I beg to differ. I think he's just a ball playing, good moving central midfielder. He's also consistent as well, which is happy days. Now we signed this guy. Now I only kind of signed this guy because his name's a little bit close to the mark, isn't it? Winston Sithole. Yep. Sign this guy, fringe player from the US, £7.75 million. This is a striker option. Ninoslav Maksic comes in. He is a Serbian youth international, 20 years of age, 5-star potential. I'm hoping he can be the roaming playmaker for the rest of this save. Good tackling, decent enough tackling, good technique as well, nice passing, creative outlet, playing at that CDM position, can play basically anywhere up through the middle as well. 5'11" though, so he won't be a centre back for us, but we're moving things in the right direction. Another young player, Ricardo Munoz, is in. He will probably go out on loan. Swansea want him on loan as a CDM option. Hopefully he can go and progress out on loan whilst he is there. Gavin Bazunu comes in as a free transfer. I needed a backup goalkeeper. That's all he's going to be. Just in case we have a massive injury, this guy can play in nets. We also signed this guy, Christian Volpato from Roma. Another new one for me. His attributes look quite nice. Australian international, free transfer valued at over £15 million now. Good progress for me. And then this guy, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. Again, these guys were being released for Roma. I like him for his pace as an option to play up front if we have to, basically, is kind of where we're at. The tactic and the team now, we are basically all operating as new gens. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 is in goal. FICO has knocked down that position as the right back. Muscuera, Van Hecke are there. Nori is the left back. Robertson is the DM at the moment. Ferdy and Doyle are the CM partnership of dreams here. Caio Menezes and Iago are still here. This guy is still plugging away, still scoring his goals, still in the Premier League. He's asking for a new contract, so we better go and do that. But this is another big season in the Prem. Obviously, we've got the Europa League to contend with. We enter at the group stage. They want us to reach the first knockout round, so we've got to get through the group, which is interesting. The board have now expected us to finish in the top half, so things are moving quite nicely, but we are expected, according to the season preview, to finish in 16th. We are now 300 to 1 to win the title, so we've obviously made a good improvement by signing all these new gens and stuff like that, so we are progressing quite nicely. I think the Europa League's an absolute joke. I don't think we're going to get that, but you never know. We may get a nice easy group and we may progress into some knockouts and play some knockout European football, but obviously the Premier League is the bread and butter. Club Vision, again, we're talking about the facilities and stuff like that. Good facilities in both areas now, so we are progressing nicely on and off the field in terms of the affiliates. Still just that Western Union. I keep asking, sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no, so fingers crossed we can keep that progressing as well. A simulated season back at the end, guys. You know the drill. All I can say, in season number 7, Wimbledon are massive. We finished in 3rd in the Premier League. Yes, we're 12 points behind Arsenal, who have won the Prem, but I do not care. We finished with 68 points, which in most Premier League seasons isn't going to get you into the top 4, but it did this year. 19 victories, 11 draws, 8 losses. We are into the Champions League for season number 8, and we've also won the Europa League. Now, we beat Man City in the final, but first and foremost, let's have a look at the run which actually got us to the final. Where is it? The Europa League. Here we go. So we were in Group C with Rangers, Villarreal and Basel. I assume we topped the group. We do. 4 victories, 1 draw, 1 loss. Obviously, it's the Premier League money taking over. It's kind of what we said about West Ham in the Europa League this year. The sort of the money aspect is too good from the Premier League, to be perfectly honest. We took on Slavia Prague. We lose the game away from home 2-0, but we beat them 5-2 at home back at Palau Lane. Then we take on Cologne 0-0 in both games, but we win on penalties, showing our goalkeeper there with an 8.8. He's progressed phenomenally well. This guy's a monster. Then we take on Carabao. Beat them 4-1 at home and 1-0 away from home. Then we take on Manchester City in this final. Now I'm going to expand this final so that we can have a look. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙈𝙚 scores the goal for Manchester City. They have Rodri sent off. We have Tommy Doyle sent off in the second half, and they have Rodri sent off late. But we'd already scored our second by then. So we're going to watch the goals of this. 𝘼𝙗𝙤 and Martinez up front for Manchester City, who are playing a 4-4-2. I've just seen Kimmich as well. This Man City team is ludicrous. So this is Manchester City's goal. Europa League final, don't you forget. Kimmich crosses the ball. 𝘼𝙗𝙤 nods it down. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙈𝙚 heads it past 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. Now, obviously, our goalkeeper, I don't know if you clocked it whilst we had a look, he was injured, so would have missed this final. FICO on the right hand side into Doyle, into 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, obviously the man we signed on a free transfer, tapped in by Iago on a plate for the youngster, who scores. We picked him up on for 160k from Sheffield Wednesday. I bet they're kicking themselves. Chandon Baptiste driving forward into Shemetti, who's gone round Ederson and slotted the goal. Let's go, baby. We've won the Europa League. We are going into the Champions League. Third rounded by Leicester in the FA Cup. Fourth rounded by Charlton in the Carabao Cup. But we've got our hands on some European silverware, and we finished in the top 4 of the Premier League. Finances, again, £120 million in the overall balance, another £33.5 million to spend, and we're just going to keep buying these new gens, to be perfectly honest, guys. Like, it's working. Why would I do anything different? In terms of everything, though, on and off the field, good training facilities. We are still working on these. As I mentioned, the training facilities will be done and updated by the next time that we get there, so we are making really good progress with that. In terms of club info and affiliates, we've added Grampus 8 to our overseas affiliates as well, to boost the profile of Wimbledon in Japan. So we are making good progress there, and hopefully it brings in a little bit more revenue to the club. Transfer update coming up. We've got 30 odd million to spend again. Let's go find some new exceptional new gens. New gens. We are full of them, and we've signed another couple here. Andrea Petruzzi comes in from Udinese. Now look at the physicals on this guy. 6'4", 16 strength, 15 jumping reach, 18 balance. This guy looks phenomenal. He's got 2 caps for Italy already. Yes, okay, he's kind of limited in terms of his technical abilities, but I think he looks brilliant. Career stats, we paid £23 million for him. Udinese got it from Napoli for 7.75 million a season later. Premier League money again, wallop. Thank you very much. Full season in Serie A, pretty much, though. 7.05 rating for him. We also raided Italy again. Danilo Bologna is how I'm going to say this guy's name. Young fullback. 30 under 21 caps for this guy. He's only 21 years of age. Comes in at right back. Again, it's another option. It's another bit of squad depth. Obviously, don't forget, we have Champions League football this year. We've had a couple of people leave on loan and stuff like that, as the team is progressing, and a couple of players leave on freeze as well. Daba's gone, Connor Coventry's gone, Ricardo Munoz has gone back out on loan to Swansea for the second time, as we progress things. Obviously, Premier League, Champions League, we are Europa League winners, so we have the Super Cup against Liverpool, FA Cup and Carabao Cup. This screen is getting more and more filled up now, guys, so we are making good progress. Group stage, they expect us to reach the first knockout stage of the Champions League as well. Premier League, though, mid-table is exceptional for us. That's all the board want. We are in the Champions League, expected to finish 12th, 150 to 1 though. So yeah, key players, Karim Adeyemi, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Satriano. There's some good players in this division, that is for damn sure. Obviously the training facilities have been upgraded now, so that is, we are great training facilities. So you know, it's one of those things, as much progress as we possibly can make, we are trying to do it. In terms of the tactic though, with the best 11, this is how we're looking for the season. Hoyenhal, FICO, Muscuera, Petruzzi, Aït-Nouri, Robertson, Doyle, Afurdi, Iago, Menez, and 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, the man who set up the goal in that Europa League final. The team is very much growing. Tommy Doyle actually signed on a free transfer for Manchester City. If this guy's available in your saves, pick him up. That's all I'm going to say. He's got 100 league appearances for Wimbledon in this save. Go and get him if you can. So we're going to simulate the season and see how we get on this year. Obviously, I'm not expecting top 4 again. I'm not expecting us to get past the groups in the Champions League, but we are the team from the Premier League, so don't forget that Premier League money compared to the rest of the world is quite impressive. I thought this season was going to be difficult for us, and season 8 was very difficult for us. We dropped outside of the European places in the Premier League. We finished in 8th behind Newcastle, Chelsea, Southampton, Brighton seemed to be an ever-present. We were knocked out in the first knockout round of the Champions League by Barcelona. Again, no real issues there. Knocked out 7-5 on aggregate as well. We're losing 5-3 in the Nou Camp, so you know, we do try there. Runners up in the UEFA Super Cup, we lost on penalties to Liverpool. Third rounded by Chelsea in the Emirates FA Cup quarterfinals against Tottenham in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, progression, again, excellent training facilities. I know I'm going to keep banging this drum, guys, but we are kind of really moving this club forward off the field as well. Affiliated clubs, we've added another couple in. Seoul comes in from Korea, again, another overseas affiliate, and we've added Shandong in from China. So we're big in Japan, we're big in Korea, we're big in China, we're big in Australia. The only one I would like to add now would be a big US team. And then I feel like we would be really getting the best out of it in terms of the money available to us off the field as well. In terms of some of the finances, £109 million in the bank. We've only got a £17.6 million transfer budget, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know how we're gonna spend it. To be perfectly frank, the main thing that we've been trying to work on is making this a very viable, sustainable club off the field, and I think we've kind of done that for a team that's founded in 2002, a team that is younger than I am, to be in the position that they are in, having won a Europa League and stuff like that, in my opinion, is just ludicrous. We are part of the favoured personnel yet at the moment, but we are not quite a club legend, but we are progressing things. So season 9 coming up now. We've only got 2 more to go. If you are still here, thank you very much. Please do comment in the comment section, up the Dons. That means I know that you guys are still here going into season number 9. Call me Steve Hood, the new gen hunter. We found a couple more players that have come in. Juan Pablo Carrello comes in from Defensor Sporting from Uruguay. Now, physically, an absolute beast. Another wonder kid. He's got decent enough composure. Nice technical attributes as well. 3-star current ability player, 5-star potential. He's very consistent. And he's also been capped by Uruguay. Got 1 goal in 2 appearances for his national team. He comes in from Defensor Sporting for £1.3 million. I bought him last season. I completely forgot to tell you guys about him. Didn't really score last season, but I'm hoping he can kind of grow a little bit this year. We also signed this guy in the January as well, Gorka Bidarazaga. I've definitely butchered that, from Atleti. Again, 17 dribbling, 15 finishing. He's 6'5". He's got good jumping reach. He's got decent enough heading. Tries long range free kicks. Why not? Why not have a trait like that? That would do some interesting stuff, wouldn't it? This is the guy, though. This is the guy that I wanted. I wanted him last season, but he signed a new deal with Brighton, so I went back in and I bought him. Now, 21 international caps for the England under-21s, which is nice. He is only 21 years of age, a 4-star current ability player. Stuart Molden, as I said, comes in from Brighton. Physically, again, absolute beast. 18 strength, 6 foot, marks opponents tightly. But we did spend a pretty penny on him, £55 million. Started off at Brighton, had loans at Plymouth and Reading, and has been pretty much a mainstay in the Brighton team last season. He got 7.07 rating, is a very good player and will go on to play for England without a doubt. This is the team in season number 9. Without restriction, this is the best 11. So we have 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Fico, Muscuera, Molden, Aït-Nouri, Robertson, Ferdy, Doyle, 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪, Menez and Carrello are the starting 11. I'm hoping some of these youngsters can really sort of start boosting stuff, because if we look at the ages of this squad, we've got 20, 21s, 22s, 23s, lots of 23s, 25, 26. The oldest man in our squad is WoOoW at 30. Aït-Nouri, as a wonder kid, is now 28. So you can see how we are progressing in this team. We've got a lot of high potential players and a good level of current ability level players as well in this current team. The goalkeeper is my favorite one that we have picked up, though, I must admit. No European competitions for season number 9. So I'm hoping we can kind of have a little bit of a bounce back, maybe get a domestic trophy in, not necessarily the league. The board expectation is mid-table again for us, and the season preview has us finishing 11th. We are 50 to 1. We have really closed those odds since we were 1,000 to 1 that first year, or first 3 years in the Premier League. And Bristol City, the team I support, also promoted into the Prem again. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get on. Simulate it. 9th, penultimate season. I'll be back at the end of it. I think we've started to find our issue. We are a young squad, and I think we're starting to be found out. The board expectation was to finish in mid-table, and we have done that, kind of. We finished in 14th with 43 points. This is our lowest points return for a long while. Bristol City stay up in 17th with 27 points, so we are much closer to them than we are to the Champions League places where we were just a couple of seasons ago. Knocked out in the 5th round of the FA Cup by Everton, knocked out in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup by Sheffield United. They're not even in the Premier League. So cup-wise, we've just had really bad runs. This is a really poor season, to be perfectly honest. 9 seasons in. The club info though, we've now got superb training and youth facilities. Plough Lane obviously is still that 20,000 seater. The affiliates, obviously, as I mentioned, I've kind of just streamlined it now down to the ones that make us money. I've got rid of Brentford and I got rid of Chelmsford. Was that the other one? I can't remember, but we're just at the ones that make us money now. I will be trying to add an American one here going into season number 10, but overall disappointing season. Liverpool win the title again, going into the 10th, I almost said 5th and final, the 10th and final season. 23, or basically 24 million pounds to spend. We've got some debt. We did have some debts, but that's all gone now. Transfer debt, we're good. Let's move this club into the 10th and final season. No debts, good stadium, great facilities. This has definitely been a really fun project. Let's move in to the 10th and final season and see what we can do. Right. 10th and final season. Thank you to everybody who is still here. I've been recording this for God knows how long. My voice is so harsh and hoarse right now, so thank you to you guys who are still here. Omar Richards is the first guy who comes in to play left back. He's been transfer listed by Tottenham. He's bounced around loads of places in the save. He's come through Bayern, obviously Porto, and then most recently Tottenham. He is 32 years of age, but still has a lot of his physical gifts, actually. So I think he is a massive improvement for us in this left back spot. I felt like we were buying too many new gens and needed a couple of older heads to potentially help, and I'm hoping Omar Richards can really come in and do that. Goncalo Estafiez comes in as well. He is a former wonder kid, 26 years of age, got 5 caps internationally by Portugal, but yeah, another sort of cover option for us in those positions as well. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, we've gone out and signed. Look at the smile, look how white this dude's teeth are. I'm absolutely smashing it. He's 6'1", got massive jumping reach, good head in. I want him to be a big no-nonsense centre-back for us. I'm kind of looking for a little bit of leadership as well. He's only got 14 in leadership, but I think having that experienced head, 29 years of age, he's played in a lot of football. So I'm hoping he can come in and do really well. We've also signed this guy, Nicolas Pascal. It wouldn't be a season without a new gem, would it? So I've gone in and signed this youngster from Mexico. He's not got a work permit yet. Give me time. He will get a work permit. Some other players on the outgoings though. Kyle George has gone. He didn't want to sign a new deal. Neither did 𝘼𝙗𝙁. Ricardo Munoz is gone as well. The big money maker, Andrea Petruzzi, didn't really get a lot of game time for us, to be perfectly honest. How did he get on last season? 17 appearances for us last season in the Premier League. Signed for 23.5, sold for 30 million. He has gone over to Hertha Berlin. And then we also had Wagu's gone, and then this guy Jean-Paul Van Hecke, who we signed from Brighton for I think 1.3 million pounds. He's been a mainstay in our team in the Premier League. 35 million pounds. He's now gone over to Spain to Atleti. In terms of all the competitions, we've only got the 3. No Europe in this 10th and final season. Board expectation again is mid-table. Emirates FA Cup, Carabao Cup. In terms of off the field, superb stuff happening here, but we have just finished an improvement. I will try and squeeze in one more of each over the course of the season to see if we can kind of get it as good as possible for you. And I have added North Carolina here, playing on what looks like tarmac, to boost our profile in America. So I've kind of done as much as I can in terms of the overseas affiliates. We should be a good money making club now, operating at a very, very good level. We are still just only favored personnel though, which is just absolutely crazy. Let's simulate the season. Where are we supposed to finish in the Prem? Let's have a look. Season preview, 50-1, expected to finish 12th. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's simulate this 10th and final season. Guys, thank you if you are still here. AFC Wimbledon or Wimbledon, thank you very much for being here. We finished second in this 10th season. Just 1 point behind Arsenal. We couldn't do it in the end. 80 points, 81 points enough to win the division for Arsenal. We are 1 point behind. Positive goal difference, 25 victories, 5 draws, 8 losses. Knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Emirates FA Cup by Liverpool. Knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup by Manchester City. Now I need a massive shout out to this guy, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. He's been with us since the championship days. He's down listed as a 3-star player, but he scored 20 goals in the Premier League this season. 25 years of age, was capped for the Spanish under-21s, but didn't make the full call up. He loves a big match. Like, he's just been brilliant. This whole way of building around new gens is probably something I'm going to do a lot more of, to be perfectly honest, because especially in these longer term rebuilds. He came in for 160k and has been had a good season for us in the championship, and then has been very, very, very good for us, and then in this most recent season had his best goal scoring return for us in the Prem. So like, you cannot argue with this sort of talent. I'm really happy with how this has gone, to be perfectly honest. If we look at the club info, we got those superb facilities, but I've asked for more stuff, but the finances are sort of recovering themselves. We did have a little bit of debt, we still do. Debt comes in and out. I'm not really sure why. I don't think we've improved the stadium again at all, have we? No, we've not improved the stadium again, so I don't really know why, guys. I don't really know why we had a little bit of debt. Maybe we took out a little bit of a bank loan, but we're working it down. 16 million, that'll be gone in 1 year in the Prem, so this save is in a fantastic position for you guys to take this over. And if you do want to do that, come into my Discord in the link in the description right at the top. Come and join the Discord community, pick up this save yourself. I post all my rebuilds live in there a couple of days probably after I've finished and upload this video, so please do go and check it out. And look at Michael Drake as well, one of the youth players coming through. All this work on the facilities and stuff looks like it is paying dividends. But he is 6'5", he's got good jumping reach, but he can't head a football. So if you want to pick this up, guys, there are some fantastic new gens in this database. Please do so. If you do like the rebuilds, check out the playlist popping up here with all the other rebuilds on it. But until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you next Sunday for another rebuilding challenge.